A second example of the genre is the case of asymmetric interaction. So again, we have two species that live in an ecosystem, but one species helps the other, whereas the other species hurts the first one. So this can be embodied by the following equation of motion. A dot is equal to 3a minus a squared minus 2ab, and b dot is equal to b minus b squared. So each species alone undergoes logistic growth, but then here I have an additive term plus 1/2 ab. So the point here is that presence of b suppresses a, but a helps b. So what is the effect of this asymmetric interaction on the behavior of the system? So once again, let's analyze it by looking at the nullines. So the a dot equals 0 nullline, factor out an overall factor of a, so I'm not worrying about the case when a is equal to 0. And this gives me the equation b is equal to 3/2 1 minus a. And similarly, the nullline b dot equals 0. Again, it's easy to analyze, and one gets the nullline b is equal to 1 plus a over 2. So let's look at these nullines in the space spanned by a and b, the densities of the two species. Let's first look at the nullline b dot equals 0. So when a is equal to 0, it starts off at 3/2, and then when a is equal to 1, it hits b is equal to 0. So it's a line of slope 3/2. It looks something like this. So this is b dot equals 0. And again, it's important to then ask, well, what is the behavior of the flow on either side of it? So when b dot equals 0, the flow is horizontal, and the flow is like so on either side of that nullline. And the other nullline starts when a is equal to 0, b is equal to 1, and it has a slope of 1/2, so it looks something like that. So this is a nullline a dot equals 0. And on either side of the nullline, the flows look like so. So there's a fixed point here. And it turns out that this fixed point, if you set these two nullines equal to 0 and figure out what a and b are, this fixed point is at 1/4 and 9/8. But now let's ask, what is the flow in each of the little segments spanned by the two non-collinear lines? And so in the right quadrant, the flow is to the left and up. In this quadrant, the flow is to the left and down. Here the flow is to the right and down. And here the flow is to the right and up. So it looks like there's a spiral around this fixed point. So in fact, the flow looks something like this. And as we're going to see in a moment, this is actually a stable spiral. So this is a stable fixed point at 1/4, 9/8. So the effect of this asymmetric interaction is to reduce the density of A because B suppresses A, but enhance the density of B, but it's still in a stable part of the state space.